live with your own failure. Where did that bring you? Back to me.
What's going on, world? This is Grandmaster Facts.
And I'm Haas Diesel, baby.
And this is Agents of Nerdz. Now, getting right into it, okay. Let the cat out of the bag. Everybody and their mama has seen Avengers Endgame. To the point where, when I say everybody and their mama, everybody's ancestry, DNA, family tree has seen this motherfucker.
100%. So we're just going to get in. We're going to have a full spoiler conversation. So if you haven't seen the movie, I'm giving you 5 seconds. Alright, 5 seconds. You can get up out of here, save the video, come watch us later. Because we're going to dig deep into spoilers. Alright? So you got 5, 4, 3, 2,
run.
1. Get out of here. Spoiler time. What's up?
Alright, so getting right into it, we come to realize off the bat that Tony, floating in the middle of space, of course,
sick as a dog.
Yeah, sick as a dog.
Sick as a dog.
I hate to bring it up, but goddamn, man, sickly as all goddamn hell. It's a straight up cancer patient.
He looked like 50 Cent in that cancer movie.
It's straight up and down.
Yeah.
But floating in outer space, basically relaying that message to Pepper Potts, comes to realize that somebody is out there saving them. Why? Because Captain Marvel has already gotten the coordinates. And why did that happen, Haas?
Because in the post-credit scene in Captain Marvel, we do understand that Nick Fury's intergalactic pager, has summoned Carol Danvers, and she made it to the Avengers compound. She asked where Fury was, and after that, she explained who she was, which we didn't get to see. So if you didn't see Captain Marvel, and you were wondering why Captain Marvel all of a sudden showed up to the Avengers compound, and they're not surprised, they already met in their own movie.
At the end of Infinity War, you basically thought that just because Thanos had dusted everybody, half of the entire universe, that ultimately he won. No. He had to make sure, as far as the finishing project of the finishing completion of his mission, he had to make sure that all 6 of the stones were completely annihilated, and that he had to die.
Right.
So they read his coordinates. Of course, Nebula then gave the hunch because she'd been hearing these goddamn childhood tales for God knows how long.
That's all he was talking about.
So they figure out exactly where the man is at. He over there drinking dragon fruit and cutting up some sage.
He's living his best life.
And lighting incense.
He's living his best life, man.
So they get there bright and early. He don't even put a motherfucking fight.
Hey, because he has no fight left in him.
Absolutely.
Because after using the stones again to pretty much get rid of him,
right?
It basically almost killed him. So his whole left side was just ruined. Like, it was just disgusting. His arm was skinny as you don't know what. So when the Avengers came, he couldn't overpower them. They came with Captain Marvel. They came with Thor. Well, Bruce Banner in the Hulkbuster suit. And there was nothing he could pretty much do. So by the time Captain America and Black Widow got there, he was already defeated.
They didn't have to do nothing.
Yeah, they came in gangster too. Like they walked in.
They came in tough as shit.
They came in real gangster. So Rocket turns over the gauntlet, and once he says, "Oh no," like you could feel it, and it was just like Thor, who had his spirits lifted by Captain Marvel saying we're gonna go kill him. By the time they found out the stones were, Thor was gone. He chops off Thanos' head, and they ask, well, what'd you do that for?
Reminded me of any hood fight where somebody fight a family member, like an immediate family member, like 2 uncles getting into a fight.
Yeah.
That's how sad Thor looks.
Yeah, so because he didn't chop the head the first time, he decided to do it the second time, even though they didn't have the stones. So Thor went into his little depression after that.
Definitely. So 5 years have passed. 5 years of ultimate depression amongst everybody, because they have now, some of them have come to terms with the fact that half of the universe is not here. Where Black Widow and Rhodey, Captain Marvel, and Rocket are now going out on like small rogue missions because she wants to continue exactly what S.H.I.E.L.D. kind of has started and what the Avengers Initiative has started.
Right.
In order to just like keep everything at bay.
Yeah.
But ultimately, the appearance of one person decides to kickstart this entire program. And that person is Ant-Man.
Ant-Man, with the help of a rat, comes back to our reality.
No rats.
It comes back to our reality in a storage unit, right? So he immediately, he leaves. I think we get a cameo from King
Ken Jeong.
King John, right? We get a cameo from him. He doesn't even say anything, but you know it's him. And he goes and looks to see if his daughter's alive. So he looks at the names and everything. He sees the names.
He realizes his ass is dusted.
Yeah, and then he runs straight to his daughter's house, and sure enough, she comes up, damn near grown.
Yeah, she's like 15 years old. The main thing is now he's discovered this full case of paranoia.
Yeah,
as to the fact of, okay, I'm not really too keen on quantum physics. Hank Pym has shown me a lot. Maybe you guys can help me out because I just got kicked out of here. There's nobody here. It's 5 years later. And I think I have a plan, but I don't have a fucking plan.
Yeah, so he gets with the Avengers to try to find someone smart enough to do that. So they go check out Tony. So they sit there, they talk to him, and Tony has already, when he gets explained what's going on, he's already like ahead. Like he's already like, yeah, you know, the quantum physics and all that, this, that, and the fifth. We can't do it.
No.
And then it was more. Then it turned to more so. I don't want to do it because I've already.
Like even if I do fix it, I don't want to do it. I'm content with where the fuck I'm at.
So Tony has a daughter.
Boo,
he got his
I got
daughter.
My kid. I got the lake.
Yeah,
I'm good.
He loves his daughter 3,000, right? So he doesn't want to get involved. So he offers the Avengers to either leave if they keep talking about this time heist that they want to do, or they can come eat with him. So they leave. And they say they need to find a bigger brain, and this is where we get introduced to the first time to Professor.
This motherfucker done turned into a mainstream media superstar.
I mean, he's
got kids popping up on him while he's eating tacos.
He's the most famous person on the planet.
You the man.
Like he had charisma, he had all kinds of stuff. It was crazy. Never seen the Hulk. So he doesn't think initially that he can do it. But Nat says some stuff that, you know, he likes Nat. And Nat said, well, you pulled this off. This was impossible. And he was like, yeah, you're right. And so that...
This has never stopped you before. I was like, what were y'all really fucking doing?
Yeah. That's like on the deleted...
The sun is getting low.
We might get some deleted scenes of him and Nat. Who knows? But, anyways.
Hopefully he might have hit it before he fucking... Before she vanished.
Spoiler alert! Something tells me he failed at that. But anyways.
Ant-Man's only solution is the fact that... As long as everybody has been in the universe and have gone through just a regular calendar year, as far as a 5-year time span, he was only in the quantum realm for only 5 hours.
Yeah.
So it didn't feel like much to him as it did to everybody else. So he's trying to work past it and he's trying to get Bruce's help, and ultimately he's getting used as a guinea pig. In a sense, to where he's coming in, he's going inside as a baby, he's coming out as an old man, and he's coming out like super young kid.
Yeah, he ends up pissing on himself. He doesn't know it was baby him, or it was an old him, or it was him. So it was a little pretty funny. Then Tony Stark comes speeding down the highway.
He was like, "All right, I'll help y'all, motherfuckers."
Pretty much. So they go. So now he's like, "But do we have a team?" So this is where now we start to have the team
get all the
band.
All the recruits back.
The band is back together, right? So first you see the Guardianship, the Benatar and Rocket and Nebula's back. Then Rhodey shows up,
and Ant-Man don't get no fucking respect.
Yeah, man, they just knocking his tacos around, and now he couldn't even eat his tacos, man. And then you get Professor Hulk and Rocket. They fly to New Asgard, right? And they go meet
Norway.
Thor. Yep, in Norway. And they run into Valkyrie, and Valkyrie's like, he won't see you.
He only comes out once a month, and that's because he drinks kegs.
Yeah.
Every goddamn day. Like, this dude don't even eat meat, vegetables, nothing. This dude got barley and hops just every fucking day.
So they go to Thor's living quarters, and they come in. The place is a mess, smells funny, and Thor is so excited to see him. So Thor is all hugging everybody, this, that, and the fifth. And then you look over, you see Korg and Meek playing Xbox or PlayStation online, playing Fortnite, and
New Master 69 is bitching at him again,
calling Korg, our beloved Korg, a dick. So he calls on his buddy Thor to talk some trash into him, and Thor's like, you know, if you keep talking to my friend like that, I will fly over there, rip your arms off, and shove them up your butt. All those abs, all those wonderful muscles, gone. Just like Rocket said, he looked like melted ice cream, right? Thor's not looking like himself, and he doesn't really want to hear the name Thanos. It's not mentioned in his home.
Yeah, because he's thinking of it as to the fact that, okay, we can't get any of this back, so why even bring up this person's name for the ultimate demise of half the people throughout his universe and everybody on Earth?
Yeah, so
let alone some of his friends.
And he's, you can see how depressed he is because he's basically saying, well, I'm the one that killed Thanos. Korg, who killed Thanos again? Stormbreaker? So it's like...
I'm telling you, man, everybody has their Al Bundy 4 touchdowns in one game moment, and Thor was just throwing it out there.
Yeah, he was rocking that to the end, man. So, but Rocket offered him some beer on the ship, and then just like that, he was on his way to the Avengers compound. Now, after that, we get a look at Clint Barton doing his thing, his evil thing, where he's basically a serial killer now.
Serial killer to all drug dealers and every bad person alike.
Yeah, so he basically is killing off all the bad people in the world that was left after the snap, the decimation, right?
Think of him as Rorschach in The Watchmen.
100%.
Like in jail, basically saying, he's like, I'm not in here with you guys.
You're in here with me. So he's out there having a killing spree. Natasha finally finds him and convinces him to come back. We have a way to fix things, and he's down. So just like that, he comes back.
The whole team is together.
All right, so the band is back together.
In this whole concept, Clint is the only one down to do whatever because he feels like he already lost everything that he had. So he chooses to be the guinea pig.
Yeah.
And in his choice to be the first guinea pig to get thrown through the quantum realm, he realizes that this plan just might work because he gets sent into a time vortex that shows him like that he actually could see his wife and kids again.
Right. He
heard them playing upstairs, and when he gets shot back through the quantum realm, it's kind of like, okay, y'all motherfuckers are for real.
Right.
Let's just... I'm down for whatever you guys want to do now.
Yeah, he's right on board. So once they were able to do that, Tony was able to develop some quantum suits for them to navigate through the quantum realm.
And the Pym particles were motherfucking key in this.
Yes, and there was only a limited... Now, when they go out, there's only a limited amount of Pym particles, so they can all only make a round trip. They can go to wherever they need to go to in time to get the Infinity Stones, and they have to come back. So it takes they can't have any mistakes. If they have any mistakes, you're going to get stuck in time.
So they had to come up with different timelines in order to figure out where the stones were at that time, so they could accumulate them. So there was 3 at a moment in time that they figured out. They had the Mind Stone, they had the Time Stone, and they also had the Space Stone, also all in New York at the same damn time. On Morag, the Power Stone was there. The Reality Stone was stuck on Asgard. And on Volmir, of course, the Soul Stone is there. So everybody pretty much had to split up and had this little team concept that Cap drew up exactly for the missions that needed to be done. They couldn't be redone because there wasn't that many Pym particles.
Yeah, so everything had to be done as it was stated in the plan. So with the team in New York, you get the Hulk, you get Iron Man, you get Captain America, you get Ant-Man. They go back to the Battle of New York, which we find out in the Battle of New York, the Ancient One, well, she was actually fighting some of the Chitauri on top of the roof. So you get the Hulk, Professor Hulk,
showing up out of nowhere,
and he's just trying to walk into the sanctum, and she's like, "Nah, chill. We just had the floors waxed. What are you doing here?" And he wants the Time Stone, right? She's
not going to give it up willingly.
Yeah.
So the ultimate thing is that she basically, and in order to even have some sort of fight with the Ancient One, she did what she did to Doctor Strange in the first Doctor Strange movie and blasted his astral plane, Bruce Banner himself, right out of the Hulk. So Hulk is sitting there dead as a bird on the top of the roof with a hat covering his head, and Bruce is just sitting there having a talk, whether it would looking like a Force ghost from Star Wars.
Yeah.
So in this concept, she brought up the fact that, if we break up the plane of where exactly these Infinity Stones are going to be, if we break up this timeline and they're not set back into their signature path exactly where they need to be at a certain point, it's going to fuck up the whole system.
This is how the time travel rules work in the Avengers Endgame.
Not like Back to the Future.
No, it's not like Back to the Future. It's not like X-Men Days of Future Past, where if you change the past, you can change the future. Like, no.
So they did not use the butterfly effect.
100%. So what you do is when you go back in time, say they went back to New York, if you grab an Infinity Stone or whatever from there, if you change anything in that time period, you now create a new alternate timeline, right? So everything that the Avengers are doing in this time heist is not going to affect their current, their present day. But what's going to happen is whatever they did in that timeline is going to split off and become an alternate timeline. So you have the fact that Bruce Banner is taking the Time Stone. He has to bring that back, or the Ancient One's new reality will be overcome by Dormammu. So he has to bring that back there. The Captain America, Ant-Man, and Iron Man go after the Space Stone and the Mind Stone. Now,
both were obtained at the end of the battle in New York.
Yeah.
So then, ultimately, once again, Cap comes up with the plan because they done fucked up and the Cosmic Cube is now gone. The scepter is now in Ant-Man's hands, and Ant-Man is sent back to present day because they now obtained the Mind Stone, and that's pretty much set. But since they done fucked up the fact that the Space Stone just got like withered away, they had to figure out a whole nother way to get the Space Stone back. And they didn't have another pin particle to retract time. So then Cap comes up with the notion, he was like, I know a place where the Space Stone was lying as well, but it's a little deeper far back into a number of years to where the pin particles were at and the Space Stone were in the same place.
Yeah,
so all of a sudden out of nowhere, him and Tony just had to talk. And he was like, you got the coordinates? He was like 10, 16, 45. Like
and they were gone. They just left Ant-Man there. Ant-Man goes back to the Avengers compound. So they go back to 1970. We get our last Stan Lee cameo where he's driving down like the way he looks like in the 70s. Mode. Yep. The way he looks like in the 70s, yelling make love not war over to the base, and Cap is back home basically where Captain America pretty much started, and him and Tony, they go a little black ops. They trying to sneak around the base, get into
like some one just straight up looks like he's in the army, and the other one looks like a SHIELD member.
Yeah, so they go into the facility. This facility where
I gotta say how easy it was for him
extremely
to get down to damn 1970s. Y'all motherfuckers there was no type of security.
Yeah, anybody could have got
at all because
anybody could have got on.
He was like, hey, what you doing? So he runs into his father, Howard Stark.
Yeah, they have a moment.
And Howard Stark is basically saying, "Hey, bro," he was like, "How you doing?"
He just lets him walk around and
what's your name? And he was like, "My name's Howard." He was like, "Oh, my name's Howard."
That makes it easy.
Regular jargon for us people over here, but he already had the Space Stone in a briefcase, and he feels like he just wants to have a sentimental moment with his dad. And has a little talk about him and this is actually the moment where basically Howard Stark brings up the fact that he's having a kid. Yeah. Kid's gonna be Tony.
Yeah.
Okay, so and that kind of creeped me out because I was like, oh wait, he was born in 1970.
Yeah. So you had this kid when you were 52.
Yeah. I was like, you dirty
that's what I was thinking too.
Yeah.
He had the kid when he was like 52.
So he gets brought back up and he's basically like giving him kudos, saying, look, man, I got a daughter. He was like, I totally understand. You'll be fine. He has a little sentimental moment. Cap's like, come on, bro.
We gotta go.
He's like, we gotta go.
We gotta go. I got the pin particles.
They all end up going. They end up going back.
Yeah.
So all in the same instance, Thor is in Asgard, back in where Thor 2: The Dark World happened.
Yeah, and he was. This is where he was about to have a panic attack, and he was able to talk with his mom.
Cause he ain't seen his mom in a while.
Yeah, and it's the same day his mom died, so he was able to talk to his mom. Seeing Jane even put him into more depression. So he talked to his mom. He got to say whatever he needed to his mom. His mom assured him that, hey, you don't need to be who you're supposed to be who you are, pretty much, and made him feel good. He got his Mjolnir back, and Rocket got the ether from Jane somehow. Stuck him.
I thought we missed the full comedy skit because Rocket behind a full-on lounge chair sticking Jane Foster in the ass.
I would have loved to see that
to get the ether out. We missed the full moment and him running full speed, talking about, "Come on, man, let's go."
But you know why they couldn't do that? Because they used Natalie Portman's old scenes they used their old scenes
she
from
what's down?
Yeah,
She's
so they used scenes from the Dark World that we never got to see. So that's basically what it did. So now with the ether, they go back. So right now we have the Mind Stone, we have the ether,
the Reality Stone. So we got the Mind Stone. They now have the Space Stone. They got the Time Stone.
Yep. So
they got the Aether. They got 4. So now Rhodey and Nebula are now on Morag.
Right.
Also with Natasha and Clint. Clint and Natasha blast off from Morag to go to Vormir to try to obtain the Soul Stone.
Right.
So Nebula and Rhodey are basically like kind of like stuck on Morag to the point where Nebula brings out the fact that, okay, we're just going to wait on this guy Peter Quill because he's just an idiot. So let's just figure out, he's going to point us in the direction of where the Power Stone is. But she kind of warns him as to the fact that at the same time that he's looking for the Power Stone, she, Gamora, and Thanos are pretty much on their way as well.
Right.
So all the while, it seemed pretty easy. They knock out Quill. They see the Power Stone. Nebula damn near goes Terminator 2 style to go get the goddamn Power Stone. Comes out with an android hand and shit. Passes that shit off to Rhodey. And they do the 4, 3, 2, 1 blip. Nebula don't go. Nebula hits the ground and starts glitching through the Matrix. And all of a sudden these projections start to hit. At the same timeline on some fucking... Mark Zuckerberg Facebook data privacy program that started to happen. The old Nebula that's in that current base from maybe around like 5-6 years ago,
2014,
starts to have the same projection flashbacks that the current Nebula is having, exposing the entire fucking plan to Thanos.
Yeah. Now we're talking 2014 Thanos. Now this Thanos, when we meet Thanos in 2014. He's preparing to have Ronan
get the
Power Stone. So this completely changes that particular timeline, right? And now once he catches on to what the Avengers are doing, which he names, when he sees their productions, he knows who the Avengers are because he had just lost to them in the Battle of New York. Right. So he says the Avengers, and now he takes his ship and goes to Morag to go retrieve Nebula. Mm-hmm. And while that's going on, we're on Vormir with Clint and Natasha.
Well, Nebula got beamed up to Thanos' ship, so now all the type of climactic situations that could happen with all these stones starts to happen.
Right.
And then it pans over to Vormir.
Yeah.
In Vormir, alright, so Clint and Natasha are there. They have no idea what's happening. Let's just get the stone and get the fuck out of here. Red Skull appears, just like it did in Infinity War.
Yes.
The daughter of Ivan and the son of Edith. So brings them up to the top of the mountain of Vormir and lets them know exactly what the deal is. Soul for a soul. Yada yada.
Uh-huh.
And Clint's like, fuck you, Natasha, I'm going first. And Natasha's like trying to give him the spiel like, no. It was like, y'all guys have been my family this whole entire time. And Clint's like, ain't nothing, nobody lost more than me. And basically it was like a depression war.
Yeah, pretty much.
So in any super spy shield fashion, Clint decides to sweep the leg like Johnny from Karate Kid and go running full speed to the mountain. So when he does his goddamn long jump from the Olympics, Natasha just catches his ass right off, and they're both hanging off the mountain. She grapple hooks his ass like Batman up the mountain, and she's holding on by the wrist. To where she just says, hey man, let me go.
Let me go.
And that's the end of Black Widow, y'all.
She's gone, baby.